pleasure to be here. Whether tugging on our heartstrings or sending shivers down our spines, this year's nominees have not only written some beautiful music, but they've helped to make some truly unforgettable TV. Let's listen to the nominations.
Original music. John Lunn, Terry Pratchett's Going Postal. David Arnold, Michael Price, Sherlock, A Study in Pink. Dan Jones, Any Human Heart.
This is Tuscabes.
Vince Pope, Misfits.
Beautiful. And the BAFTA goes to Dan Jones for Any Human Heart.
Genuinely very surprised, not least in light of my fellow nominees, and I'm therefore haven't prepared a speech. But what I must do first is thank a remarkable director who, despite directing, well over 5 hours of television, I think, never lost his vision or eye for detail and extraordinary sort of depth of feeling for this amazing story. And so, Michael Samuel, thank you very much. For your fingerprints are all over the score. And we were supported by just very gentle and wise producers who, are just lovely to work with. My team, I'll thank them in person. Thank you so much.
So Dan, tell me about how you're feeling at the moment for winning this BAFTA.
Very genuinely surprised. I wasn't expecting to win.
Really?
So I was thrilled to bits to be nominated, not least in the light of the company I was keeping, who I think they've all been BAFTA nominated before, so I'm a genuine newcomer here. So.
Some really good nominations.
Amazing.
The production you had was very interesting because you had 3 distinct different time periods, didn't you?
That's right. Well, we had 3 actors, but the timeline was, it sort of felt like it was almost continuous. And I think having a brilliant piece of editing by William Boyd himself and with Michael Samuel's directing. And I gave Michael the biggest thank you just now that I could, because his fingerprints are all over the score. He really had a steer on the style and the way the music was going to be placed in the film and what the function of the music was in this, as you say, this sort of extraordinary time arc that we had to cover. One of his earliest thoughts was that it shouldn't be a period score. He didn't want it to be a sort of an obvious period movie that just moved consequently through the century. Because it is, whether we like it or not, it's a sort of story of the 20th century as well. And an amazing one. And I was very lucky to get the gig.
Yeah, I'll say so. And how do you compose? Do you compose before you see any footage, or have you got an idea of how things will look?
I came in when they had finished shooting pretty much,
right.
and they were getting into the edit suite. And I was throwing music at them, and quite a lot of it was coming back.
Really?
Yes, no disrespect to them, but they certainly, they you know, there was quite a high. I like to write a lot more than appears in a film. I think you have to do that. It's sort of what a director might call a shooting ratio.
Yeah.
And I always try and, when I get approached by younger people who are sort of trying to make their way into the industry, I try to flag that one up. You can't just expect to work the material you've got. You've got to write a hell of a lot.
It's not all plain sailing. That's very interesting. No. But the programme's doing very well with nominations in the BAFTAs.
Yes.
Fantastic for the programme.
Absolutely lovely. And I think, it's a good reminder as well that it's very much a team sport within the music alone. There was a music editor, an orchestrator, Liz Purnell. I had a fantastic engineer on the job called Roberto Milan Gomez, who was making sure the music actually ended up in the dubbing theatre in the way which was useful to anybody other than me, and he and the rest of the team, the copyists. I mean, it's an extraordinary number of people. The great thing in Britain at the moment is there is an amazing sort of musical infrastructure as well as a talent base for if you want to make music and you're lucky enough to get approached by some producers who are willing to invest in the music and enough to pull together a team. There's an amazing talent base to become a part of, rather than sort of thinking that you've got to simply sort of go it alone. You can really draw on all these resources. So Angel Studios did the recording. An amazing conductor I worked with for the first time called Alistair King, who had an extraordinary economy of words with the orchestra he had, but he just knew what to say to push exactly the right button at the right time. So I've been very lucky. It's this is won by all of those people too, and I'm the one who's lucky enough to stand here and hold it. But that's just my luck. It's the true story is there's a lot of people behind it.
Well deserved, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very
Enjoy
much.
the rest of your night. Cheers.